Our selection today is Bound for Canaan Land.
Where are you bound?
Bound for Canaan land. Oh, you must not lie.
You must not steal.
You must not take God's name in vain. I'm bound for Canaan land.
Your horse is white, your garment's bright. You look like a man of war. Raise up your head with courage bold, for the race is almost won. Hallelujah. Where are you bound?
Bound for Canaan land. Oh, you must not lie.
You must not steal.
You must not take Yah's name in vain. I'm bound for Canaan land.
Although you see me going on, bound for Canaan land. I've many trials down here below, but I'm bound for Canaan land. Hallelujah. Where are you bound?
Bound for Canaan land. Oh, you must not lie.
You must not steal.
You must not take Yah's name in vain. I'm bound for Canaan land. Bound for Canaan land. Bound for Canaan land.
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have favorite love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as become saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. As we read the oracles and listen to the song that was sung this morning, we also kind of put those things hand in hand, that going into this land, this is when the children of Israel received the law. Because they were about to go into a land that was governed by Yahweh. And you can't stress that part enough, that this is not like anything that they had ever dealt with before. And we're in the same situation. You try to explain to people that you're going to have to be mindful of the things that you get off into, whether it be foolish talking, whether it be jesting, whether it be this or that. Yahweh is not going to tolerate those things in his land, and he's going to root those things out. It is a big difference from being in the land of Babylon and the things that are allowed there. What happens is, after you have been in Egypt or in Babylon, what's evil takes a different definition. Because we start to look at a situation based on everybody else that's around us. So we say we're not evil because we're not doing that thing. So now we become not as evil. So then as time and generation goes on, it continues to be not as evil, not as evil, which when you get down to the direction of Yahweh, you find it to be exceedingly evil, because we're basing it off what's happening in the places where we are. And that is going to get us in a world of trouble. What it'll actually do is get us rooted out of his land. So that's what the entire song is about. I'm bound for Canaan land. So it's these things that I have to get together. These things that I got to work out. I got to work these things out on my way to Canaan land. Okay? Which is what Israel is. Israel was Canaan land before it was Israel. So I'm bound for this land, so I got to work this stuff out here. And that's the part that we have to understand. This is your workout period. You can't wait till the championship games and start working out. Now, all your energy is spent on the field lifting dumbbells. You supposed to find you some dumbbells way before the game. And Yahweh send you some dumbbells for you to work out with. That's their only purpose. It's for you to work out with. You don't bring the dumbbells to the championship game. You use the dumbbells to get you ready for the championship game. You do not bring the dumbbells to the game. Let's begin today's sermon in Jeremiah chapter 25. Today's sermon is entitled, From Destruction to Deliverance. And we do have Bible trivia. So if you guys did not receive your email for Bible trivia, send that your request. Please check your email before you send that request. Don't work out, folks, for no reason at all. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, they running back and forth doing stuff. Please don't have them send you 4 emails. You know, don't do that. Don't do that. Jeremiah 25, and let's start that at verse 1.
The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Yehuda in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Yehuda. That was the 1st year of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon. The which Jeremiah the prophet spake unto all the people of Yehuda and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying...
Now, the first thing you got to understand is Yahweh is not just dealing with Israel. Yahweh is dealing with the children of Israel and the world. So all the kings of the nations, Yahweh said, I set them up as it's pleasing unto me for the things that I want them to do. So people stand in line and they go vote, they go do all these things. Yahweh done already said, yeah, they're doing some wickedness for that dude to get in. Let him get in, because he gonna do the wickedness that's gonna forward the destruction of this situation, and it's gonna push the affliction on my people, which is going to make them decide whether or not they're gonna serve me or not. Go ahead.
From the 13th year of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Yehuda, even unto this day, that is the 23rd year, the word of Yahweh has come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but you have not hearkened.
Right. So Yahweh gives the children of Israel an opportunity. See, Yahweh is not, an Elohim that just says, okay, you did something one time, I'm gonna kill you. Even though the law says if you do this, he can kill you. So likewise, when you attempt to be long-suffering, people still find fault with that. There is a window of grace. That's why they call it a grace period. You don't get to continually do that thing forever and then use the grace period as your excuse to say, well, I've been doing it. Go ahead.
And Yahweh has sent unto you all his servants the prophets, rising early and sending them. But you have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear.
And Israel has not changed. Israel is the kind of nation that you can go unto them beforehand. Tell them exactly what's going on. They're going to give you their tail to kiss, is what Israel does. Then when everything catch on fire, they act like you ain't never said nothing to them.
Oh, you prophesied to us? You did? Us? For real? Was I there?
Right.
I don't recall. I have no recollection.
Right. Go ahead.
They said, turn you again now, every one from his evil way and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that Yah has given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever.
Now, this becomes a problem when you're already living in the land that he says, turn from your evil and dwell in the land. What you talking about, man? I'm in the land already. Man, get this fool out of here, man. Where y'all get this dude from? He's supposed to be a prophet? How you gonna tell me turn from my evil way and I live in the land and I'm in the land now? Psst. Go ahead.
And go not out after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I'll do you no hurt.
It never does occur to us that the things that we are doing are provoking Yahweh. See, we think we in sport. We think things are working out because he hadn't punished us yet. It is provoking unto Yahweh. We think it's all fine and cool and everything seems to be okay. He is being provoked. And because he's long-suffering, the provocation keeps increasing and increasing. So when he does strike, he's striking for old and new. We keep looking at, once we get a whipping, it's real, if your mama know them, them real games, she a real mama. She start whipping you sometimes, she don't even tell you what she whipping you for. And she let you guess.
What you getting whipping for?
Now you think you done got away with some stuff, so you like, well, wait a minute.
Okay, so you whipping me? I mean, you should tell me what you whipping me.
No, you tell me what you getting a whipping for. Now you done find yourself in a pickle. Because, see, now you know what you just did. But is it the thing that you just did, or is it the thing that you just did? Okay, so now what if you mention the thing that you just did, and not the thing that you did, but she whooping you for the thing that you had done?
Oh, no, wait a minute now. I wasn't even whooping you for that. See, I didn't even know that. Go give me some more switches, because you about to get it now.
See? Go ahead.
Verse 7, Jeremiah chapter 25 and verse 7. Yet you have not hearkened unto me, says Yahweh, that you might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore thus says Yahweh of hosts, because you have not heard my words.
You have not heard my words, but I'm not the one that's speaking to you. See, I got servants for that. You have not heard my words that I sent them to speak to you. So all those that think that they're going to hear stuff directly from Yahweh's mouth, and those are the only words that they're going to hear, you might well go ahead and schedule your destruction. Yahweh ain't coming directly to you. Go ahead.
Behold, I'll send and take all the families of the north, says Yahweh, and Nebuchadrezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant.
My servant. Now, this is where things get interesting. He your servant. He don't do nothing righteous. What law he keeping? Oh, he's my servant for destruction. See, you were supposed to be my servant for righteousness, but you wouldn't do that. So then I call my servant for destruction. Come here, little devil boy. Come here. You that like to kill, destroy, and war all over the earth. Come on here. Come on. I got a job for you. Yeah, go jump on them. You told me those are holy people? They are. Now go beat them up. You ever seen a man who trains his son to fight? If he take it easy on him all the time, the kid never learn how to fight. So the daddy got to say, you know, man, that boy got some awesome kicks. Come here. Kick my son. Daddy, I thought you loved me. I do. That's why I'm having him kick you. Kick him. Because you need to know what a real kick feel like before you get down the street. Because when you get down the street, they don't have no love for you. I do. So because I got love for you, I want you to understand what a real kick feel like. Kick my son. No, that ain't how you kick. I saw you kick last week when you kicked that dude you didn't like. Kick my son like that. So when you get down the street and one of them kick you, and you ain't got that surprised look on your face, you can tell me somebody ain't got they boat rock before. When they first get that boat rock, that look come over their face. When you done already had your boat rock, you like, that's it? That's what you got? No, let's do this. It's different when you done got your boat rocked before. And you listen to people talk about that boat rocking, but you can look in their eyes and tell they ain't never had now. See, you can't fool somebody who's actually done something. You know, when you haven't read a book, you can't show up and play your way through the book report. Everybody who read that book be like, that's not what happened in that book. You ain't read that book. I don't know what book you read, but you sure didn't read the one that we read, because that's not what that say. You can only fool the people who haven't been through anything. You cannot fool people who have actually been through that thing. So I don't know what folks be thinking they doing. We know you ain't been through it, because we have. And we know what it looked like. We know what it smelled like. We know what it walked like. We know what it talked like. You know, that little dog will make you think that he's a killer. And you walk up on him, he's like, and he gone. But boy, he make you seem like he a killer. Man, you ain't no killer, man. Go on back over there. Ain't you got a little pink fluffy toy to go play with? Go ahead, bro.
And will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about. I'll utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and an hissing, and perpetual desolations. Moreover, I'll take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle.
Now, you know what we'll do? We'll blame all this on the adversary of the devil, that the adversary of the devil did this. So moreover, I will take from them the voice of happiness. I took it. I will take from them the voice of gladness. I will take from them the voice of the bridegroom. I will take from them the voice of the bride. I will take from them the sound of the millstones. I will take from them the light of the candle. I will take that. We'll say, oh man, the adversary of the devil that came in and took this stuff from me. No. Your own ways procured that unto you. You, in walking against Yahweh your Elohim, have allowed him to take that from you. But then we say the devil did it. Yeah, he might have used the devil to do it. But it was Yahweh that did it. Go ahead.
And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment. And these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years, And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon.
Now, understand, the children of Israel have already gone through multiple captivities during the book of Judges. We have had I mean, the book of Judges is a 430-year period of on and off captivities. We listen as long as somebody is there who stands in the stead of Yahweh and executes judgment. So instead of being afraid of Yahweh, we are afraid of that particular individual. As soon as he dies, we get right back off into the mess that we were into before. And it happened over and over and over and over. We chips off the old block. I watch people after my elder died act like they didn't even know the word. We start looking at them people sideways. You ever seen a dog and the dog just look at you and just turn their head like, what in the world are you? That's how folks were after my elder passed. Like they had never even heard the word. They had renegotiated everything they had heard. My elder died. Yahweh didn't die. They had remade the covenants they had, renegotiated everything. Go ahead.
And that nation, says Yahweh, for their lawlessness, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it perpetual desolations. And I'll bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands. For thus says Yahweh El of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of the fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send you to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them.
Now, you know, it's one thing to turn around and have to say this stuff to your people. Okay? That's all to know. Now go say it to other people too. Imagine, you know what I'm saying, you going into the land of the Asians and proclaiming them, yeah, Yahweh finna destroy you. Who are Yahweh? Who you talk? Are you crazy? Man, you know how difficult this is? Go to other people. Tell them that I'm going to destroy them too. We don't understand how to be happy with the job we have. You don't want that job, man. Imagine if he sent you to the Russians. Go to the Russians. Boy, stop. You don't want to draw that straw. You go, wait a minute, let's draw straws to see who got to go do this here. You don't want that job. And then you got to go to them back to back. So you making an enemy after you just made another enemy, and then go make another enemy, and then go make another enemy, and then all of them sitting there looking at you. And we think our little job hard. We arguing about the little job we got. Man, I got to put these things in the envelope. Man, you know how much spit it take to close that envelope? For real, man. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 17.
I'm sorry, you had something, bro? No. Okay, go ahead.
Then took I the cup at Yahweh's hand, and made all the nations to drink, upon whom Yahweh had sent me. To wit, Jerusalem, and the cities of Yehuda, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, and an astonishment, and an hissing, and a curse, as it is this day. Pharaoh king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Asa, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Tema, and Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth. And the king of Shishak shall drink after them. Therefore you shall say unto them, thus says Yahweh of hosts, the El of Israel, drink you, and be drunken, and spew, and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at your hand to drink, Then shall you say unto them, Thus says Yahweh of hosts, you shall certainly drink. For, lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. And should you be utterly unpunished?
Right. Yahweh says quite openly, do all of these things and begin at my house. So what happens is, while Yahweh is dealing with his house, other people believe that they are immune. They don't think the cleansing is coming to their house. They really don't understand that Yahweh just started at his first, because he's not a hypocrite. See, a hypocrite start cleaning at your house. Hypocrite ain't clean his own house. Oh my goodness, look at the filth in here. You clean your house yet? Yahweh don't operate like a hypocrite. He started his house. But then when he done in his house, he coming to yours. And if you keep looking at his house, thinking, oh, he's so busy at his house, he ain't coming to mine, you got quite a surprise coming. Go ahead.
You shall not be unpunished. For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, says Yahweh of hosts. Therefore prophesy you against them all these words, and say unto them, Yahweh shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout, as they that tread the grapes, against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for Yahweh has a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, says Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground.
Right, because they are sacrifices to put the earth back into its righteous state. But for that to happen, blood has to be shed to make an atonement. So while people would be going on one end praying for Yahweh to stop this death and stop this, and the whole time that has to happen to make atonement for the earth. So you can go ahead and pray for it all you want. It ain't gonna stop because it can't stop. How is he gonna redeem the earth without blood being shed in it? So here you go, praying with flowers and love. Please, oh God. And he's like, man, I'm trying to clean my house. And to clean my house, I gotta shed this blood to make atonement to clean up my place. And who you kill? The man beast that won't follow law. That's who you gather up to kill. The man beast. They refuse to follow law. Then they are worthy to be sacrificed. Go ahead.
Howl, you shepherds, and cry, and wallow yourselves in the ashes, you principal of the flock. For the days of your slaughter and of your dispersions are accomplished, and you shall fall like a pleasant vessel. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee, nor the principal of the flock to escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherds, and an howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard, for Yahweh has spoiled their pasture. And the peaceable habitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of Yah. He has forsaken his covert as the lion, for their land is desolate because of the fierceness of the oppressor, and because of the fierce anger.
Right. So what Yahweh does, he steps out of the way. That hedge that is covering Israel, what'll happen is we'll have the hedge so long that we begin to take the hedge for granted. You know, it didn't happen to us. Didn't happen to me. I've been doing such thing, didn't happen to me. And we keep on going, and then Yahweh removes that hedge. And then we go right out, as in times before, and all of a sudden, some calamity show up. And now we thrown off, because we trying to figure out where the calamity come from. The calamity was always there. It just never had a chance to get to you because the hedge was protecting you. But once you have done things to cause the hedge to be removed, or you walked outside the hedge, you no longer have protection anymore. The danger is always there. He ain't got to go find danger for you. You step outside this door, danger is waiting for you. He ain't got to go find danger, raise it up, and feed the eagle danger. Take that. Yeah, grow danger, get stronger. Oh, danger standing out there. The adversary say, I always knew Job, right? Say, if you consider my servant Job, yeah, man, but hey, come on now. He don't fear you for nothing. I mean, look at all that stuff. You gave me sheep and goats and cattle, man. Man, you made that dude rich. I would serve you too. You gave me all that. But I tell you what, put your hand on this stuff, I bet he cursed you. He saw him all the time he was going to do everything else. Why ain't he touch him? Because he couldn't. Yahweh had to tell him he could. So when the adversary touch you, you need to ask yourself a question. Did Yahweh give you permission to touch me, devil? Who gave you permission to touch me? Because I ain't my own. I belong to Yahweh. And if you ain't get his permission, I'm going to need you and your minions to step the hell out of here. Jeremiah chapter 26. Keep going, bro.
In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Yehuda, came this word from Yahweh, saying, Thus says Yahweh, stand in the courts of Yahweh's house, and speak unto all the cities of Yehuda, which come to worship in Yah's house. All the words that I command you to speak unto them, diminish not a word.
Right. Now, this is when you know you're on your way to trouble. Yahweh said, go stand in the court of my house. Now, don't diminish a word from what I take. Now, he ain't told you what he going to tell you yet. See, this is like one of them questions people say, will you do me a favor? I don't know what's favor. Yeah, well, Yahweh don't work like that. I need you to do something. Yes, sir. Now, don't you diminish the word. He ain't told you what the words is yet. Yes, sir. All right, now, are you about to go do this? Yes, sir. Didn't he tell you where you got to go and what you got to say? Ooh-wee. Now you might want to renegotiate. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go ahead.
If so be they will hearken, and turn every man from his evil way, that I may repent me of the evil which I purpose to do unto them because of the evil of their doing.
Okay, so this then coming at them gives them, it's for them to have an opportunity to repent. And this is what, the same thing we do with individuals. See, we operate according to what's written in this book. But the people who are playing don't recognize that all of the stuff and the dealings come from the book. They just think they understand what's going on. So you give them, you speak to them, you give them an opportunity. Yahweh does the same thing. You give them an opportunity to back away from the fierceness of their anger and the evil of their doings. Because see, we walk with one foot in the church and the other foot all in the world and think that don't nobody notice. See, you walk lopsided when you got one foot in the world. So everybody know when you got that pimp limp that one of your feet ain't in the right place. Everybody know. See, you can't tell somebody who done already walked that before. See, trying to explain to me, no, see, there's something wrong with my knee, which is, see, my knee bone connected to my shin bone. And then, hey, man, tell that to somebody else. I understand what it was like when I came in here and had one foot in and one foot out, playing the hokey pokey with the word. And then Yahweh caused my elder to throw me on one of them television programs. And then he talked about it. He laughed about it later. Yeah, boy, I seen you with one foot in and one foot out. And I said, you know what? I'm going to throw him on one of them television programs and I'm going to make him make a decision. I said, Elder, that's not funny. Why are you laughing? Oh, he was dying laughing. He thought it was absolutely hilarious. I didn't think it was funny at all. You know? Because he hurt my feelings. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 4, and you shall say unto them, Thus says Yahweh, if you will not hearken to me, to walk in my law, which I have set before you, to hearken to the words of my servants the prophets, whom I have sent unto you, both rising up early and sending them, but you have not hearkened.
Prophets, okay? He sends prophets. Okay, so you didn't like that prophet, I'm going to send you somebody else, and I'm going to let them talk to you. But see, The stiff-necked and rebellious will never be persuaded, no matter who comes, no matter how. And you understand the genius of why Yahweh would send somebody else. Because what happens is we make excuse why we can't listen to this dude. Well, I don't like that dude. I don't like the way he talk. I don't like, he laughed too much. Then Yahweh sent a quiet spoken word. He speak too soft. Well, he speak too hard. Well, come on, Goldilocks. How the hell you want the word then? Go ahead, brother. Yes, brother. Yeah, I do need those.
Then will I make this house like Shiloh, and will make this city a curse to all the nations of the earth. So the priests and the prophets and all the people heard Jeremiah speaking these words in the house of Yah.
Please remember the address of those books, please. Okay? Thank you.
Now it came to pass, when Jeremiah had made an end of speaking all that Yahweh had commanded him to speak unto all the people, that the priests and the prophets and all the people took him, saying, You shall surely die.
Now, look, has Israel changed? Has Israel changed? You gonna talk to us about the law? You gonna tell me what I need to do in my house? Man, I don't want none of your unsolicited information. You gonna die. Right. Israel ain't changed. Go ahead.
Why have you prophesied in the name of Yahweh, saying, This house shall be like Shiloh, and this city shall be desolate without an inhabitant?
See, because he wasn't saying nothing sweet. They want to kill him. Yet this is their opportunity to repent and cause the destruction to go away from their house. Why would you hear? What kind of person gonna tell you something sweet while you in the midst of walking in sin? Who's gonna do that? That person hates you. That person does not love you. They are allowing you to be destroyed. Go ahead.
And all the people were
Somebody got to
gathered,
get back that child.
and all the people were gathered against Jeremiah in the house of Yah.
That's an Amber Alert right there. Go ahead.
When the princes of Yehudah heard these things, then they came up from the king's house unto the house of Yah, and sat down in the entry of the new gate of Yahweh's house. Then spake the priests and the prophets unto the princes and to all the people, saying, This man is worthy to die, for he has prophesied against this city, as you have heard with your ears.
Now, never mind if it's true. See, he done spoke against the city. He is worthy to die because he said something we didn't like. Come bring the truth to Israel and they ain't ready to hear it, and you better get ready. Go ahead.
You know what's interesting? Even the prophets in here are against him. All of a sudden, the people like us, so we gonna side with them against you.
Oh man, there was always prophets for profit. We got many of those right now. They prophets for hire. What they said, look, prophesy unto us smooth things. Don't tell us that other stuff. We don't want to hear no destruction and all that stuff. You tell us how much Yahweh love us and how much he want us to be rich. If you do that, we will make you rich. Go ahead.
Then spake Jeremiah unto all the princes and to all the people, saying, Yahweh sent me to prophesy against this house and against this city all the words that you have heard. Therefore now, amend your ways and your doings.
Now, they cannot hear the part about amending their ways. They are too upset that he has actually spoken out against them. So they can't receive the righteous correction or the opportunity for the righteous correction. They're too angry. They don't even hear or see or feel the grace that Yahweh is bringing to them. This is your opportunity. If you turn right now, anybody that's been on a trip before, you start trying to figure out those opportunities to get off that road. See, when we on our way to riding to Florida, some of them, you get on one of them long roads, you look at that gas hand and say, well, I'm about half. This is a funny looking road right here. You know what? This might be my last chance to get off and get gas. Last thing you want to do is run out of gas. And it ain't nothing but Confederate flags all the way down that road right there. And you go, excuse me, sir? Boy, stop. Boy, stop. That ain't what you want to do. So if you got to get some more gas and you already got gas, that's all right. I'll be over full. That's all right. Just keep the hand down until it spill out. There you go. Okay, now stop. There you go. You do not want to stop. Because let me tell you something. Those roads, when it get dark, oh man, you ain't never seen dark until you seen outskirts of country dark. And you around there looking for gas, and even if you stop at one of those places, and it might be a bona fide gas station, they let you, what you doing out here there, boy? You stopped in the wrong place. You got to look at your opportunities to get off that road. And when you get an opportunity to get off that road, you know what? It's time for a pit stop. I need to get some gas and refresh. Let me jump off this road right here. But see, pride tell you, you know what? I got 1/16 of a tank. I can make it. Really, man.
Therefore now amend your ways and your doings. Obey the voice of Yahweh your El, and Yahweh will repent him of the evil that he has pronounced against you.
He will repent. You have an opportunity to get him to turn. So the same thing that Yahweh deals with us individually, he also does that same thing as a nation. And if you won't receive it individually, how are we going to receive it as a nation? Go ahead.
As for me, behold, I'm in your hand. Do with me as seemeth good and meet unto you.
Because I'm going to do my job. And if doing my job means the death of me, then go ahead, get your killing on. But I'm telling you, you're going to face even more judgment for it. Go ahead.
But know you for certain that if you put me to death, you shall surely bring innocent blood upon yourselves, and upon this city, and upon the inhabitants thereof. For of a truth Yahweh has sent me unto you to speak all these words in your ears. Then said the princes and all the people unto the priests and to the prophets, this man is not worthy to die.
Okay, stop. Then said the princes, now other people have to convince them not to kill him. Check it out. These your folk now. So while you ready to do your Israelite pep rallies, you need to know. Some of them got pom-poms that got knives in them. Go ahead.
This man is not worthy to die, for he has spoken to us in the name of Yahweh our El. Then rose up certain of the elders of the land, and spake to all the assembly of the people, saying, Micah the Morshathite prophesied in the days of Hezekiah king of Yehuda, and spake to all the people of Yehuda, saying, Thus says Yahweh of hosts, Zion shall be plowed like a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of a forest. Did Hezekiah king of Yehuda and all of Yehuda put him at all to death?
No. What he did was went in there and repented. He went and tried to clean up some things and change the error of his ways. But see, pride and the Holy Spirit go before fall. You can't talk to the prideful about changing. See, unless something is on fire, they don't believe that they got anything to fix. Go ahead.
Did he not fear Yahweh, and but besought Yahweh, and Yahweh repented him of the evil which he had pronounced against them? Thus might we procure great evil against our souls. And there was also a man that prophesied in the name of Yah, Uriah, the son of Shemaiah of Kiriath Yearim, who prophesied against this city and against this land according to all the words of Jeremiah. And when Jehoiakim the king, with all his mighty men and all the princes, heard his words, the king sought to put him to death.
Now check that out. So think about what kind of weight this is on Jeremiah. You gonna prophesy the same thing that he prophesied? This don't look prosperous. Go ahead.
But when Uriah heard it, he was afraid and fled and went into Egypt. And Jehoiakim the king sent men into Egypt, namely Elnathan, the son of Akbar, and certain men with him into Egypt. And they fetched forth Uriah out of Egypt, and brought him unto Jehoiakim the king, who slew him with the sword, and cast his dead body into the graves of the common people. Nevertheless, the hand of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, was with Jeremiah. that they should not give him into the hand of the people to put him to death.
Right. So you consider that he understands that these things have happened to another individual who's prophesying the same thing. Then Yahweh send you to go and prophesy that thing. Are you already afraid? No, man, they just killed. What's your name? You want me to go say the same thing? You're sending me on the death mission. Go ahead.
In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim the son of Uzziah, king of Yehuda, came this word unto Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Thus says Yahweh to me, Make you bonds and yokes, and put them upon your neck, and send them to the king of Edom, and to the king of Moab, and to the king of the Ammonites, and to the king of Tyrus, and to the king of Zidon, by the hand of the messengers which came to Jerusalem unto Zedekiah king of Yehuda.
So send you some people in yokes and bonds. Imagine you just see somebody just walking up with a yoke and a bond on them. What is wrong with this dude? But he has been sent as an image unto you as to what Yahweh is about to bring on you. Go ahead.
And command them to say unto their masters, Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the El of Israel, Thus shall you say unto your masters, I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are upon the ground, by my great power and my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me.
I have given it unto whom it seems fitting to me. So if it's a time of wasteful destruction, Yahweh found him a wasteful and a destructive king. If it's a time of judgment, he finds somebody who like to go to war. Go ahead.
And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and the beast of the field have I given him also to serve him. And all nations shall serve him, and his son and his son's sons, until the very time until the very time of his land come. And then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him. And it shall come to pass that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, that nation will I punish.
Right. So then their redemption is in accepting what is given unto them. So if they be rebellious, stiff-necked, and full of pride and refuse to submit, they're going to end up in a worse situation than the situation they got coming to them. Go ahead.
With the sword and with the famine and with the pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand. Therefore hearken not you to your prophets, nor to your diviners, nor to your dreamers, nor to your enchanters, nor to your sorcerers, which speak unto you, saying, You shall not serve the king of Babylon.
Nor to your friends who don't know jack. Go ahead.
For they prophesy a lie unto you, to remove you far from your land, and that I should drive you out, and you should perish. But the nations that bring their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon and serve him, those will I let remain still in their own land.
Check that out. The ones who submit themselves, I will let them stay in the land. Boy, only if Israel could hear. If you could submit yourself, you could stay in your land. But because can't nobody tell you nothing, bye. Go ahead.
Says Yahweh, and they shall till it and dwell therein. I spake also unto Zedekiah king of Yehuda according to all these words, saying, Bring your necks under the yoke of the king of Babylon, and serve him and his people, and live. Why will you die, you and your people, by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, as Yahweh had spoken against the nation that will not serve the king of Babylon? Therefore hearken not unto the words of the prophets that speak unto you, saying, You shall not serve the king of Babylon, for they prophesy a lie unto you. For I have not sent them, says Yahweh. Yet they prophesy a lie in my name, that I might drive you out, and that you might perish, you and the prophets that prophesy unto you.
Now, you have to ask yourself, when somebody gets tricked by somebody else's talk, you have to ask yourself, what was it in you that made you so easily tricked? Like, what did they appeal to in your spirit that caused you to be subdued by that word? Like, here is all the evil that's going on in the city. Then there's a prophet that comes and pronounces judgment against the city. What is it that was in you that caused you not to see the evil that was happening and believe that Yahweh was going to do something about it? What was it in you that caused you to believe the wrong thing? Like, what was that? When you end up, buying the food's gold at Quick Trip, what was in your mind that allowed you to be taken at that point? See, it's got to be something there that opens you up to listen to the wrong story. And if you don't deal with that, you're setting yourself up to listen to another wrong story. And then another one. And then another one. So you got to find, what was it that I found appealing about that? Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 27 and verse 16. Also I spake to the priests and to all this people, saying, Thus says Yahweh, hearken not to the words of your prophets that prophesy unto you, saying, Behold, the vessels of Yahweh's house shall now shortly be brought again from Babylon, for they prophesy a lie unto you. Hearken not unto them. Serve the king of Babylon and live. Wherefore should this city be laid waste?
Hearken not unto them. Serve the king of Babylon and live. Submit yourself and you shall live. Go ahead.
But if they be prophets, and if the word of Yahweh be with them, let them now make intercession to Yahweh of hosts, that the vessels which are left in the house of Yahweh and in the house of the king of Yehuda and at Jerusalem go not to Babylon. For thus says Yahweh of hosts concerning the pillars, and concerning the sea, and concerning the bases, and concerning the residue of the vessels that remain in this city, which Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon took not, when he carried away captive Jeconiah the son of Jehoiakim, king of Yehuda, from Jerusalem to Babylon, and to all the nobles of Yehuda and Jerusalem. Yes, thus says Yahweh of hosts, the El of Israel, concerning the vessels that remain in the house of Yah, and in the house of the kings of Yehuda and of Jerusalem. They shall be carried to Babylon, and there shall they be until the day that I visit them, says Yahweh. Then will I bring them up and restore them to this place.
Now, so he has had this happen in waves and stages. So they have already carried away some of the things. But because they were not utterly destroyed, instead of using that as an opportunity to get themselves together, they then keep going in the way that they're going. And now he's going to bring Babylon in to come and take them and the rest of the stuff. Now ain't that us? You have folks, a whole car fall on top of them. They barely get up and living. Then they brag about, I'm living. I lived through it. Yeah, but if you were doing what you're supposed to have been doing, the car wouldn't have fell on you in the first place. Go ahead, brother. You finish that?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 36.
Earlier you were talking about, what is it that allows that person, whatever they're saying, to get to you. We've talked to people, man, and they think that this is our first rodeo. We haven't been around long enough. It's like certain things we see, we're trying to warn you. We see people with their friends get off into the stuff with their friends and feel compassion and go along with the friend, sympathize with them. Friend get kicked out and they right out there with them. And then give it a month or two when they done sat down and thought, can I come back? No, remember you took up your friend's fight and had a lot of nasty
Fight
things.
didn't have nothing to do with you.
Right. You had a lot of nasty things to say on your way out too.
Yep. But it's hard to tell Israel something before it happened, man. You know, everybody want to be. I think we've saw that Christian thing, and we see how much, you know, they glorify the office of a prophet because they do, you know, prophet. All they prophets say good stuff, and I think we don't understand just how, you know, difficult it is to be a prophet of Israel, because you end up trying to tell them something that has not happened yet to them. Now, you've seen it several times over, but it has not happened to them yet, so they don't believe anything that's coming out of your mouth. They believe you self-serving, you serving yourself. They believe you making it up. They believe that you done had some wicked dreams. Maybe you ate chocolate too late last night. They don't believe nothing that's coming out of your mouth. And it's a shame that then when they all yoked up, then they call you like ain't nothing happened. You do know I tried to warn you about what was going to happen on this road, right? You know how many people we done had to go get off this road? Go ahead.
2 Chronicles chapter 36 and verse 1. Then the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Uzziah, and made him king in his father's stead in Jerusalem. Uzziah was 23 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And the king of Egypt put him down at Jerusalem and condemned the land in 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. And the king of Egypt made Eliakim his brother king over Yehuda and Jerusalem.
Whoa. And the king of Egypt made him king. We keep getting further down in dealing with things, but we ain't dead yet, so you still can't talk to us. We ain't trying to hear nothing you say about no repentance and changing our way. Look, we still in the land. I don't know what you're talking about. Ain't nobody trying to hear you. Somebody else just put a king in it. Do you not understand what that means? Go ahead, bro.
And turned his name to Jehoiakim.
What? Change his name. Now you got to call him daddy. Go ahead.
And Necho took Jehoahaz, his brother, and carried him to Egypt. And Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem, and he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh his El. Against him came up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and bound him in fetters to carry him to Babylon.
Wait a minute. You remember them same chains and bonds that was shown? Your turn. Go ahead.
Nebuchadnezzar also carried of the vessels of the house of Yahweh to Babylon, and put them in his temple at Babylon.
Yeah, ain't that what Yahweh said we're going to happen to him? He said, I'm going to take that stuff, all that stuff that's left, they're going to take that and take it to Babylon. But then look at the beauty of how Yahweh operates. I'm going to take that stuff. It's going to get up out of here. But when you come back, I'm going to cause the stuff to be brought back. So in other words, I'm just going to make them hold your stuff for you. Hey, man, this place is holding some of our stuff. Some of that stuff that we have helped them to accumulate here, they're going to have to get some of that back. Go ahead.
Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and his abominations which he did, and that which was found in him, behold, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel and Yehuda. And Jehoiachin, his son, reigned in his stead. Jehoiachin was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months and 10 days in Jerusalem, and he did that which was evil in the sight of Yah. And when the year was expired, King Nebuchadnezzar sent and brought him to Babylon with the goodly vessels of the house of Yah, and made Zedekiah his brother king over Yehuda and Jerusalem. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 11 years in Jerusalem.
Right. So as other nations are placing kings, then those kings have to show their loyalty to the people that set them up over Yahweh. Go ahead.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh his El, and humbled not himself before Jeremiah the prophet, speaking from the mouth of Yahweh.
Right.
And he also rebelled against the king Nebuchadnezzar, who had made him swear by Elohim. But he stiff-necked his But he stiffened his neck, and hardened his heart from turning on to Yahweh Elohim of Israel.
Now, you know, it's strange when Yahweh raised up another nation and put that nation to say to you, serve your God. When a stranger got to come and tell you that you need to serve your God, you got some strange things happening. There's something seriously wrong. When you get ready to show up at the Christmas party and people say, hey, ain't you Hebrew? You need to get on out of here. Why are you here? Now you should at that point ask yourself, why you didn't have that conversation with yourself? Why somebody else's servant got to tell you, excuse me, man, we about to do wickedness in here. What you doing in here? You ain't supposed to be here. Don't I know? I know your God. You ain't supposed to be in here. Go ahead.
Moreover, all the chief of the priests and the people transgressed very much after all the abominations of the heathen, and polluted the house of Yahweh, which he had hallowed in Jerusalem. And Yahweh El of their fathers sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place.
So sending people to tell them of something that may be in their heart that's causing a problem, and that's going to cause them a problem, was Yahweh's compassion. But when your heart in the right place, you're not able to receive compassion. Go ahead.
But they mocked the messengers of Elohim.
Of course they did.
And despised his words. And misused his prophets. Until the wrath of Yahweh arose against his people, till there was no remedy.
But they mocked the messengers of Elohim. Same thing we do today. And despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of Yahweh arose. Go ahead.
Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees, who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and had no compassion upon young man or maiden, old man or him that stooped for age. He gave them all into his hand. And all the vessels of the house of Elohim, great and small, and the treasures of the house of Yahweh, and the treasures of the king, and of his princes, all these he brought to Babylon. And they burnt the house of Elohim, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem.
And they burnt the house of Elohim. Now all this talking we couldn't receive until something catch on fire. Go ahead.
And burned all the palaces thereof with fire, and destroyed all the goodly vessels thereof. And them that had escaped from the sword carried he away to Babylon, where they were servants to him and his sons until the reign of the kingdom of Persia, to fulfill the word of Yahweh by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had enjoyed her Sabbaths. For as long as she lay desolate, she kept Sabbaths, to fulfill 70 years. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of Yahweh spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished, Yahweh stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth has Yahweh El of heaven given me, and he has charged me to build him an house in Jerusalem, which is in Yehudah. Who is there among you of all his people? Yahweh, his Elohim, be with him, and let him go up.
So you have a process where Yahweh sends his prophets to come in and speak to Israel and give them warning. They have years to make the change. They decide not to make the change. Now they have to go through the captivity. The house is burned. Everything is taken out of the house. All of this goes on. Another king comes into place. Now it is time to redeem the children of Israel. And then all of this stuff begins to start returning as Yahweh said it would before, sending his prophets, but Israel would not listen. Let's go to First Kings chapter 8. First Kings chapter 8, and let's start that at verse 22.
Verse 22. And Shlomo stood before the altar of Yahweh in the presence of all the congregation of Israel, and spread forth his hands toward heaven. And he said, Yahweh, El of Israel, there is no El like you, in heaven above or on earth beneath, who keepeth covenant and mercy with your servants that walk before you with all their heart. Who has kept with...
So they have to walk a certain way. See, they can't just walk the way they want to walk. They have to walk with their whole heart. And if you're not going to walk that way, then you need to go somewhere else. See, it's going to be, and people who are walking right and are making an attempt to walk with their whole heart, they recognize the people who got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. They recognize that their works are for themselves. And you don't need diligent inquiry to figure it out. You just watch the way they walk. Go ahead.
Who has kept with your servant David my father that you promised him. You spake also with your mouth, and has fulfilled it with your hand, as it is this day. Therefore now, Yahweh El of Israel, keep with your servant David my father that you have promised him, saying, There shall not fail you a man in my sight to sit on the throne of Israel, so that your children take heed to their way, that they walk before me as you have walked before me. And now, O Elohim of Israel, let your word, I pray you, be verified which you spake unto your servant David my father. But will Elohim indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain you. How much less this house that I have built? Yet have you respect unto the prayer of your servant, and to his supplication, O Yahweh my El, to hearken unto the cry and to the prayer which your servant prayeth before you today. That your eyes may be open toward this house night and day, even toward the place of which you have said, My name shall be there, that you may hearken unto the prayer which your servant shall make toward this place.
Right. This explains why we make our prayers in certain fashions. But then you have to look at the power of Yahweh's house, where he has chosen to put his name there. It says if these people go through all of these things and they make their supplication here, even if they make their supplication toward this place, you look up and you see people who are supposed to be in the word, and when they're going through things, where are they? See, sometimes we have that thing where, I'm going to get my life right, and then I'm going to come to church. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck on that right there. See, if I know something wrong with me, this is the place I need to be. He said, well, man, I'm limping. Well, look, somebody help me hold this other leg. Let's get on in here. I need to go before the altar. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And hearken you to the supplication of your servant and of your people Israel, when they shall pray toward this place. And hear you in heaven, your dwelling place, and when you heareth, forgive.
But see, here's the problem. Sometimes Israel will then allow those things to turn into idols. That we then, as we pray in a certain fashion, and then we began to reverence the house, we reverence it in a way of putting the power of Yahweh on it, but without the righteousness of his law. So now the house becomes more powerful than Yahweh, and it should never be that. See, this is what happened when they made the brazen serpent. When the people did whatever they were doing, and then they got bit, Yahweh sent snakes on them, and the snakes bit them. When they would look at the brazen serpent, they would be healed and not allow the venom to kill them. What'd they do? Put all the glory of Yahweh inside that thing and start worshiping it. It's a thing that Yahweh gave them to do something with. They in turn start worshiping the thing. And not him who provided the thing. They start worshiping the thing. Ain't no difference when Yahweh gives a man a wife. You thank Yahweh for the wife that he has given. Some of them then turn around and worship the gift and forget the gift giver. Go ahead.
You know, brother, we started out in your house. Should we have started worshiping the house? No, we can't move, son. We're not moving into a building.
Right.
No, did Yahweh place his name on this house? Should we still be driving by and bound to the house?
Man, folks are something else.
Yeah.
Hey, people believe that, you know, when my elder passed, that, you know, the place was holy, so they needed to stay there. All of the word change that came forth out of that place when my elder died.
And it's the same token here. We got to move from here. Hey, we move the word and go somewhere else.
Exactly. How many times they moved during this wilderness journey?
Man, we couldn't count.
I mean, constant moving. So was the spirit of Yahweh at the last place they was at? It was how they knew to move it. The spirit moved. The spirit moved, they moved with it. You know, there's something wrong when people like, you know, the spirit is in the walls. It's in the ceiling tiles. You see the way that light is, that light, see that light don't even shine like it's supposed to. See, the spirit is in that light. Something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 31. If any man trespass against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to cause him to swear, and the oath come before your altar in this house, then hear you in heaven, and do, and judge your servants, condemning the wicked, to bring his way upon his head, and justifying the righteous, to give him according to his righteousness.
Right. Folks that have situations that never come anywhere near the altar. And at some point, you have to wonder if Yahweh said, maybe you really don't have an issue. I guess it ain't that serious to you. Go ahead.
When your people Israel be smitten down before the enemy, because they have sinned against you, and shall turn again to you, and confess your name, and pray, and make supplication unto you in this house, then hear you in heaven, and forgive, the sin of your people Israel, and bring them again onto the land which you gave unto their fathers. When heaven is shut up, and there is no rain, because they have sinned against you, if they pray toward this place, and confess your name, and turn from their sin, when you afflict them, then hear you in heaven, and forgive the sin of your servants, and of your people Israel, that you teach them the good way wherein they should walk, and give rain upon your land, which you have given to your people for an inheritance.
That you teach them. For them to be taught, there has to be teachers. For them to receive the teaching, they have to listen. Go ahead.
If there be famine in the land, or if there be in the land famine, if there be pestilence, blasting, mildew, locust, or if there be caterpillar, if their enemy besiege them in the land of their cities, whatsoever plague, whatsoever sickness there be, what prayer and supplication soever be made by any man, or by all your people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, and spread forth his hand toward this house, then hear you in heaven, your dwelling place, and forgive, and do, and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart you knoweth. For you, even you only, know the hearts of all the children of men.
It says, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart. Are we aware of the plague of our own heart? Are we too busy pointing fingers at somebody else's plague that we can't work on ours? Go ahead.
That they may fear you all the days of their life in the land, that they may fear you all the days that they live in the land which you give unto our fathers. Moreover, concerning a stranger that is not of your people Israel, but comes out of a far country for your name's sake, for they shall hear of your great name, and of your strong hand, and of your stretched out arm. When he shall come and pray toward this house, hear you in heaven your dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calls to you for, that all the people of the earth may know your name, to fear you, as do your people Israel, and that they may know that this house, which I have built, is called by your name. If your people go out to battle against their enemy, whithersoever you shall send them, and shall pray on to Yahweh toward the city which you have chosen, and toward the house that I have built for your name, then hear you in heaven their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause. If they sin against you, for there is no man that sins not, and you be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto the land of the enemy, far or near. Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives, and repent, and make supplications unto you in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, We have sinned.
Acknowledgement. The very first part of the prayer. If they shall bethink themselves, that means they think again. That means, because we have that first thing that come to our mind, which is defend yourself. But then if they shall bethink themselves, that means they sat down and reconsidered. See, sometimes something comes to you and you automatically go into defense mode. Hey, brother. Hey, man. Hey. We automatically went into defense mode. But we haven't considered what's actually been presented to us. So then it says, if they bethink themselves. See, that was the people that go back and sit down later and think. And they take their feelings. And you know what feelings? You sit right here. No, feelings. You too close. Sit right there. I'm trying to figure something out. And you keep making things cloudy. So I need you to get out the way for a second. Now let me meditate on this thing. They bethink themselves. They go back again. Outside of the presence of everybody else. I don't need everybody else in this situation. Let me go somewhere by myself and think. I don't need any other influences. Let me think again. Then they start to be able to deal with something. See, we have influences that sometimes we don't even know we have. See, we think in some of that stuff. And that's an influence that has been placed on you. That is somebody else's thought that's been handed to you. You have the same thing, righteous or unrighteous. There are some things that the angel of Yahweh has given us, and we think that it's a thought that we thought. Then there could be also a thought that one of them demons gave you. Go ahead.
And have done perversely, we have committed wickedness. And so return unto you with all their heart, and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto you toward their land, which you gave unto their fathers, the city which you have chosen, and the house which I have built for your name. Then hear you their prayer and their supplication in heaven your dwelling place, and maintain their cause. And forgive your people that have sinned against you, and all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against you, and give them compassion before them who carried them captive, that they may have compassion on them. For they be your people, and your inheritance, which you brought forth out of Egypt, from the midst of the furnace of iron, that your eyes may be open upon the supplication of your servant, and unto the supplication of your people Israel, to hearken unto them in all that they call for you unto. For you did separate them from among all the people of the earth, to be your inheritance, as you spaketh by the hand of Moshe your servant, when you brought forth our fathers out of Egypt, O Adonai.
Right. But see, we didn't want to be separated amongst the nations. We wanted to intertwine, intermingle with all the nations. Take on the things of my God, and I'll take on the things of your God. So we began to merge and mingle all the things of Yahweh to the point that we don't even recognize them anymore. So now you got to go deep to get a 7-branch menorah, because all the Jewish stores got 9. And they want to know, why you getting that one? Why ain't you getting this one? Instead of asking me, but you see how the adversary, the devil, gonna work? They question me about why I want a 7-branch menorah. Why you want a 9? That ain't in this book. But look at the audacity of the devil to question you about why you want to do right. What? Who you talking to? Go ahead.
And it was so that when Shlomo had made an end of praying all this prayer and supplication unto Yahweh, he arose from before the altar of Yahweh, from kneeling on his knees with his hands spread up to heaven. And he stood and blessed all the congregation of Israel with a loud voice, saying, Blessed be Yahweh, that has given rest unto his people Israel, according to all that he promised. There has not failed one word of all his good promise, which he promised by the hand of Moshe his servant. Yahweh our El be with us, as he was with our fathers. Let him not leave us nor forsake us, that he may incline that he may incline our hearts unto him, to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, which he commanded our fathers. And let these my words, wherewith I have made supplication before Yahweh, be near unto Yahweh our El day and night, that he maintain the cause of his servant and the cause of his people Israel at all times, as the matter shall require, that all the people of the earth may know that Yahweh is El, and that there is none else. Let your heart therefore be perfect with Yahweh our El, to walk in his statutes and to keep his commandments, as at this day.
Right. And the way to have a perfect heart with Elohim is to give it a perfect effort. And if we have or allow anything to interfere with the effort that we put forth to Yahweh, we do not have a perfect heart with Yahweh, and there's going to be a problem. See, Yahweh, I can't do this because I got to go do this over here. Right. Something wrong. Well, Yahweh, I can't do this because I'm going to go do this over here. Something wrong. You cannot present yourself to Yahweh that you have given a perfect effort, because you keep sitting Yahweh stuff further and further back. There's something wrong with your heart with Elohim. Something is wrong. And if we don't fix that here, we are going to have some problems. You know, when you look at this whole situation of, you know, him putting the power upon the house in that holy city, so you have these issues, then you pray toward this place if you can't make it to the place. Otherwise, you go to the place. So it is a question when people have issues. How well did you seek to try to remedy that? So this is one of those things where you have to learn how to deal with some situations so that you don't get in Yahweh's business. See, I know for a fact I got in Yahweh's business one time. I tried to help a brother who I thought was an absolute marvelous brother. I thought he was, you know, a wise brother. You know, he seemed humble. Come to figure out, the brother was full of pride. You know, his family had lost their place. They had lost all of these things. Come to figure out, he had a certain amount of pride as to where he would work. So then I'm going to help the brother. Ended up going through the worst financial slump I had ever been in my life. I learned. I stuck my nose in Yahweh's business. So Yahweh trying to get this brother to humble himself. And here I go shelling out money. I done taught the brother how to do this. I done gave the brother my car. Ran the car down into the ground. I just gave the damn car away. It was so bad. I'm teaching the brother and paying the brother while I'm teaching him. I got my family keeping the brother kids during the day. To this day, that brother don't even speak to me. Went through the worst financial, slump, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I realized, I'm in Yahweh business. Yahweh trying to get to him, and I keep stepping in the way. And he start whooping me. See, there's some times, and I learned this, growing up, when your mama come through and she whooping your brother, I learned, don't get into that whooping. So, every now and then, saying you the young one don't know no better. He good and stupid, right? So he want to say his brother, no, mama, no, what, never mind. Finish, mama, finish. Then you realize that whooping start coming to you. That's not even your whooping. That's not your whooping. I hope y'all work it out. I'm gonna be in here because that ain't gonna work. Had somebody else tell me the same situation. Tried to help somebody. Their whole house went under. Financially, spirits in the house, everything still happened. Until they rectified that situation, finances came back, and the spirit part came back into their house. Trying to help and deal with somebody else's situation, and that's a situation that they have to deal with. You can't take on everybody else's struggles. You wear your heart on your sleeve, and you're going to mess around and lose it like a bracelet. You better find somewhere to put your damn heart, because it ain't supposed to be on your sleeve. Take it from a man who wore his heart on his sleeve, and I kept looking up. Have you seen my heart? Damn it, it was on here, and I was swinging, and I must have dropped it. And them people that say they love you, they kick dirt over it so you can't find it. Oh, look at it. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it. Where we at, man? Let's go to Ezra chapter 4. Here it is. You being led by your heart and you don't understand. That's going to get you killed. And ain't nobody better to teach you that than Israel. Israel going to teach you. You're going to find a place for your heart. Because if you keep holding it out there, they're going to use the mess out of you. And you ain't know that you getting used. You think they love you. No, you have exposed everything of your heart and they're just punching all the buttons. Ezra chapter 4, and let's start that at verse 1.
Now when the adversaries of Yehuda and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity built the temple unto Yahweh of Israel, then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, Let us build with you, for we seek your Elohim as you do. And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esar-Haddon, king of Asher, which brought us up hither.
Right. Hey, let us help build a house. You know, we've been in the land. Check this out now. You get ran out of the land, but the heathen's still in it. You on your way to go back into the land to rebuild the house of Yahweh, and the folks who still there, now they didn't get punished when you got punished, but now they want to help you build a house. You've been in the land the whole time. You could have built or tried to do something while I was gone. Go ahead.
But Zerubbabel and Yeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, You have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our El. But we ourselves together will build unto Yahweh El of Israel, as King Cyrus the king of Persia has commanded us. And the people of the land weaken the hands of the people of Yehuda and trouble them in building.
Right. So first the people try to pretend like they with you and help building, because they going to work with you. Then when you won't let them work with you, then they find a way to go against your works. All the time pretending like they're down with you. But they're hindering the works. See? Pay attention, Israel. Go ahead.
And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose.
Hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose. And how we do that today? Running, drop little tidbits of erroneous information in different places. Go ahead.
All the days of Cyrus king of Persia, even unto the reign of Darius king of Persia. And in the reign of Ahasuerus, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Yehuda and Jerusalem.
Right. Today we just put it on like Facebook or WhatsApp. It'd be the same thing. We're going to write letters of confusion to try to frustrate the purpose. Let's see if I can change the minds of those people. Go ahead.
And in the days of Artaxerxes wrote Bishlam, Mithridath, Tabiel, and the rest of their companions unto Artaxerxes king of Persia. And the writing of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpreted in the Syrian tongue. Rehum, the chancellor, and Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes the king in this sort. Then wrote Rehum, the chancellor, and Shimshai, the scribe, and the rest of their companions, the Danites, the Arapsacites, the Tarpelites, the Apharsites, the Archavites, the Babylonians, the Susanicites, the Dehivites, and the Elamites, and the rest of the nations whom the great and noble Asnapar brought over, and set in the cities of Samaria, and the rest that are on this side the river, and at such a time.
So you have to think about how intricate the statement was, like when they said to Yeshua, say you not that you are Samaritan and have a devil. You have to understand the intricacies that's there. In Samaria, you have the children of Israel who have gotten off into strange things. Then you have also in Samaria all of the nations that were brought there. So you have like a double-edged sword of a situation going on in Samaria. So that's why when you start to study certain Bibles, they will say something about the Samaritan copy says this. You got to automatically question a Samaritan copy. You understand? So you need to understand why you would look at that cross-eyed. This is where all the other nations that were brought into Israel and taught the word, then in their own words, they all of a sudden became Jews. So now you have all these other nations of people who claim that they are Jewish, but they came from other lands. So now you have different writings, and you need to be careful how you absorb those other writings. Go ahead.
This is the copy of the letter that they sent on to him, even unto Artaxerxes the king. Your servants, the men of this side, the river, and at such time, be it known unto the king, that the Yehudis, which came up from you to us, are come unto Jerusalem, building the rebellious and the bad city, and have set up the walls thereof, and joined the foundations. Be it known now unto the king, that if this city be built, and the walls set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so you shall endamage the revenue of the kings.
Right. So to hate on you, what they gonna do is go and find any of your past deeds that wasn't quite right. All of us got those. I got one thing to present when they tell me, well, Esaac, we went looking through your past and we found some dirt. That's all you found? You should have found some mud too. But I tell you what, I got a question for you. See, this right here is my baptism certificate. Was it before or after this date? Right. Right. That's the only thing I got to ask. Hey, I got songs I can't even let y'all hear. But if you found them, I ain't gonna tell you I didn't make them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I got pictures I don't want y'all to see. Got them finger waves in there. I'm purchasing every last picture that y'all can find. You understand? I'm not gonna sit there and tell y'all it ain't me. So that's you. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So I got a perm and sat under a dryer. What you want me to do, bro? What you want me to do? Okay? Damn it, I did it. All right? Guilty as charged. But was it before or after this date? That's all I gotta say. Run, go tell that. Read, man.
Now because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor, therefore have we sent and certified the king, that search may be made in the book of the records of your fathers. So shall you find in the book of the records, and know that this city was a rebellious city, and hurtful unto kings and provinces.
Yeah, we're gonna mention everything that you done did. Go ahead.
And that they have moved sedition within the same of old time, for which cause was this city destroyed. We certify the king that, if this city be built again, and the walls thereof set up, by this means you shall have no portion in this side the
because
river.
they done did this stuff. See, if you do something with them, they gonna do this stuff again. Go ahead.
Then sent the king an answer unto Rehum, the chancellor, and to Shimshai the scribe, and to the rest of their companions that dwell in Samaria, and unto the rest beyond the river. Peace, and at such a time. The letter which you sent unto us has been plainly read before me. And I commanded, and search has been made, and it is found that this city of old time has made insurrection against kings.
I did find that, and they passed. You are absolutely correct. That thing that you said they did it. See, so you got to look at the process of the things that we've read. In Jeremiah, he is warning them to turn from their way. They refuse to hear him. They go through the captivity. Okay? We then go through Chronicles. We jump down to Ezra. This is after the captivity is coming to an end, and now they're getting ready to restore the house. But then there's frustration about the restoration of the house. Go ahead.
You know, brother, earlier you was talking about that. You see, that's what most people's problem is. You're afraid of your past and what might come out. Hey, man, you cannot blackmail me with my past. I'll tell on myself. If you gonna think that that's what you got to hold over me, I'm sorry to tell you, I'll go tell on myself.
Yeah. He said, well, Sock, we heard you did this. Oh, that's the only one you heard? Oh, my goodness. Wait a minute. Look, I got some pictures to show you. Listen. You ain't even got the good stuff. I I got something much worse than that. I said, hell, I thought you had something, child. Get the hell on out of here. Go ahead, brother.
And that rebellion and sedition have been made therein. There have been mighty kings also of Jerusalem, which have ruled over all countries beyond the river, and toll, tribute, and custom was paid unto them. Give you now commandment to cause these men to cease, and that this city be not built, until another commandment shall be given from me. Take heed now that you fail not to do this. Why should damage grow to hurt of the kings? Now when the copy of King Artaxerxes' letter was read before Rehum and Shimshai the scribe and their companions, they went up in haste to Jerusalem unto the Yehudis, and made them to cease by force and power.
So understand something. The other people in the land who have gotten accustomed to walking in falsehood, pretending that they're serving Yahweh, the last thing they want is real people to come and set up a real house and execute real law. That is going to be a hindrance to what they are doing. They are getting away with false worship. They are getting away pretending that they're serving the God of Israel, while they do all manner of foulness on the other side of the gate. The last thing they want is these people to come and set up that house in strength and start executing that word according to how it is written. So they got to first pretend like they down, pretend like they on the team, but the whole time they're frustrating the works, sending a way to slow down the works, making a way to hinder the works, all the time while smiling, saying, we are with you. We on the same team as you. But every time something get ready to happen, somehow they're hindering the work. Israel, are you watching? Go ahead, bro.
Then ceased the work of the house of Elohim, which is at Jerusalem. So it ceased unto the 2nd year of the reign of Darius, king of Persia.
So then you have these situations where now it looks like they have been profitable in stopping the building. Okay? So their little letters of deception worked for a time. Keep going.
Then the prophets, Haggai the prophet, and Zechariah the son of Iddo, prophesied unto the Yehudis that were in Yehuda and Jerusalem in the name of the El of Israel, even unto them. Then rose up Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel, and Yeshua the son of Jozadak, and began to build the house of Elohim, which is at Jerusalem, and with them were the prophets of Elohim helping them. At the same time came to them Tattenai, governor on this side the river, and Shethar-Boznai, and their companions, and said thus unto them, Who has commanded you to build this house, and to make up this wall? Then said we unto them after this manner, What are the names of the men that make this building? But the eye of their Elohim was upon the elders of the Yehudis, that they could not cause them to cease, till the matter came to Darius. And when they returned answer by letter concerning this matter, the copy of the letter that Tattenai, governor of this side the river, and Shethar-Boznai, and his companions, the Arphaxadites, which were on this side the river, sent unto Darius the king.
Right. Well, being a hater worked last time by saying all manner of stuff, then let's do the same thing. Go ahead.
They sent a letter unto him, wherein was written thus, Unto Darius the king all peace. Be it known unto the king that we went into the province of Judea, to the house of the great El, which is built with great stones, and timbers laid in the walls, and this work goes fast on, and prospereth in their hands. Then asked we those elders, and said unto them thus, Who commanded you to build this house, and to make up these walls? We asked their names also, to certify you, that we might write the names of the men that were the chief of them.
Now, we did this to certify you. We did this for you. That's what just want to let you know why we doing this. Right. Go ahead.
And thus they returned us answer, saying, We are the servants of the Elohim of heaven and earth, and build the house that was built these many years ago, which a great king of Israel built and set up. But after our fathers had provoked the El of heaven unto wrath, he gave them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, the Chaldean, who destroyed this house and carried the people away into Babylon. But in the 1st year of Cyrus, the king of Babylon, the same King Cyrus made a decree to build this house of Elohim. And the vessels also of gold and silver of this house of Elohim, which Nebuchadnezzar took out of the temple that was in Jerusalem.
So Yahweh used one king to come against Israel to knock everything down. Then when he is done punishing Israel, he uses another king to come in and order them to rebuild it. Go ahead.
And brought them into the temple of Babylon. Those did Cyrus the king take out of the temple of Babylon, and they were delivered unto one whose name was Sheshbazzar, whom he had made governor.
They just holding your stuff. They have been a bank for the children of Israel, not even knowing that they were serving Yahweh our Elohim. They think we're gonna come in here, we're gonna take this stuff, right? Yeah, you take it and hold it. And when it's time for us to leave, we're gonna come get our stuff back. Go ahead.
And said unto him, Take these vessels, go, carry them into the temple that is in Jerusalem, and let the house of El be built in his place. Then came the same Sheshbazzar, and laid the foundation of the house of Elohim which is in Jerusalem. And since that time even until now has it been in building, and yet it is not finished. Now therefore, if it seem good to the king, let there be search made in the king's treasure house, which is there at Babylon, whether it be so, that a decree was made of Cyrus the king to build this house of Elohim at Jerusalem, and let the king send his pleasure to us concerning this matter. Then Darius the king made a decree, and search was made in the house of the rolls, where the treasures were laid up in Babylon. And there was found at Achmetha, in the palace that is in the province of the Medes, a roll, and therein was a record thus written.
So things happen by the paperwork, right? So then they go back and they can find the evidence of all the things that Israel has done. But then you also learn, okay, there's also a situation of paperwork that you can go and have research to certify you. Learn how to play the game, Israel. Go ahead.
In the first year of Cyrus the king, the same Cyrus the king made a decree concerning the house of Elohim at Jerusalem, that the house be built, the place where they offered sacrifices, and let the foundations thereof be strongly laid, the height thereof 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 80 cubits, with 3 rows of great stones, and a row of new timber, and let the expenses be given out of the king's house. And also let the golden and silver vessels of the house of Elohim, which Nebuchadnezzar took forth out of the temple which is at Jerusalem, and brought on to Babylon, be restored, and brought again onto the temple which is at Jerusalem, every one to his place, and placed them in the house of Elohim.
So look at how Yahweh ended up orchestrating the situation. So you have the one king, then you have another king that made a decree. They frustrated, but because that thing was then written down, this is why you want stuff in writing. You know, see conversations after a while, if everybody claimed they don't remember conversations, stuff in writing stays. So then they're able to turn around and go back to the writing and then justify that thing was decreed, and now they use the writing from that to keep going forward. Now they got paperwork. Go ahead.
Now therefore, Tatnai, governor beyond the river, and Shethar-Boznai, and your companions, the Arphaxites, which are beyond the river, be you far from thence. Let the work of this house of Elohim alone. Let the governor of the Yehudis and the elders of the Yehudis build this house of Elohim in his place. Moreover, I make a decree, what you shall do to the elders of these Yehudis for the building of this house of Elohim, that of the king's goods, even of the tribute beyond the river, forthwith expenses be given unto these men, that they be not hindered, and that which they have need of, both young bullocks and rams and lambs, for the burnt offerings of the Elohim of heaven, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests which are at Jerusalem, that it be given them day by day without fail, that they may offer sacrifices of sweet savors unto the Elohim of heaven, and pray for the life of the king and of his sons. Also I have made a decree, that whosoever shall alter this word, let timber be pulled down from his house.
Wait a minute. You alter this word and let us take the wood out of your house. Your house don't stand if they move the wood. You ain't got no house no more. But see, that's how you make people responsible for leaving stuff alone. What people like to do is meddle with stuff. They like to be in everybody else's business. They like to do all of these things. When that decree says, okay, you alter this and meddle with this, then we're going to come and take the wood from your house to go and establish this. That means we tearing down, we're not going to find new wood or we're going to demolish your house, take everything from it to go and fix what you altered. Now you make the people personally responsible for what they decide to meddle with. That's how you keep Israel out of the business. Meddle with it if you want to. Go ahead.
And being set up, let him be hanged thereon, and let his house be made a dunghill for this. And the Elohim that has caused his name to dwell there destroy all kings and people that shall put to their hand to alter and to destroy his house, this house of Elohim which is at Jerusalem. I, Darius, have made a decree, let it be done with speed. Then Tatnai, governor on this side the river, Shethar-Boznai, and their companions, according to that which Darius the king had sent, so they did speedily. And the elders of the Yehudis built, and they prospered through the prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Iddo. And they built and finished it, according to the commandment of the Elohim of Israel, and according to the commandment of Cyrus and Darius and Artaxerxes king of Persia. And this house was finished on the 3rd day of the month Adar, which was in the 6th year of the reign of Darius the king. And the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites and the rest of the children of the captivity, kept the dedication of this house of Elohim with joy, and offered at the dedication of this house of Elohim 100 bullocks, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and for a sin offering for all Israel 12 he-goats, according to the number of the tribes of Israel. And they set the priests in their divisions, and the Levites in their courses, for the service of Elohim, which is at Jerusalem, as it is written in the book of Moshe.
And you have to understand now that there have been people there. This is not pleasing unto these people. They have been able to do whatever they want willy-nilly. Now here you come orchestrating all the things of the past, and we have not had to deal with y'all for generations. So you have people that have completely been raised up without having to deal with Israel in Israel. So they are grieved at the presence of a real Israel, a real priest, as it is this day. You execute righteousness and judgment, watch how the people grieved at your appearance. Because they want to play the same games they've been able to play. And they know they're not going to play them games when you show up. See? That's why they don't want to see you there. They want to keep playing them games. Go ahead.
And the children of the captivity kept the Passover up on the 14th day of the 1st month. For the priests and the Levites were purified together, all of them were pure, and killed the Passover for all the children of the captivity, and for their brethren the priests, and for themselves. And the children of Israel, which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek Yahweh El of Israel, did eat, and kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy. For Yahweh had made them joyful, and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them, to strengthen their hands in the work of the house of Elohim, the El of Israel.
Right. It says when a man's ways is pleasing unto his Elohim, that he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Now the very people who have come and caused you all of these issues are now helping to restore all of those things unto you, unto your Elohim. Go ahead, bro.
After these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra the son of Sariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shalem, the son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Miriath, the son of Zerihai, the son of Uzai, the son of Bukai, the son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra went up from Babylon, and he was a ready scribe in the law of Moshe, which Yahweh El of Israel had given. And the king granted him all his requests, according to the hand of Yahweh his Elohim upon him. And there went up some of the children of Israel, and of the priests, and the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the Nethinims, unto Jerusalem in the 7th year of Artaxerxes the king. And he came to Jerusalem in the 5th month, which was in the 7th year of the king. For upon the 1st day of the 1st month began he to go up from Babylon, and on the 1st day of the 5th month came he to Jerusalem, according to the good hand of his Elohim upon him. For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of Yahweh, and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments. Now this is the copy of the letter that the king Artaxerxes gave unto Ezra the priest, the scribe, even a scribe of the words of the commandments of Yahweh, and of his statutes to Israel. Artaxerxes, king of kings, unto Ezra the priest, a scribe of the law of the Elohim of heaven, perfect peace, and at such time. I make a decree that all they of the people of Israel, and of his priests and of Levites in my realm, which are minded of their own free will to go up to Jerusalem, go with you. For as much as you are sent of the king and of his 7 counselors to inquire concerning Yehudah and Jerusalem, according to the law of your Elohim which is in your heart, and to carry the silver and gold which the king and his counselors have freely offered unto the Elohim of Israel, whose habitation is in Jerusalem, and all the silver and gold that you can find in all the province of Babylon, with the freewill offering of the people and of the priests, offering willingly for the house of their Elohim which is in Jerusalem, that you may buy speedily with this money bullocks, rams, lambs, with their meat offerings and their drink offerings, and offer them upon the altar of the house of your Elohim which is in Jerusalem. And whatsoever shall seem good to you and to your brethren, to do with the rest of the silver and the gold, that do after the will of your El. The vessels also that are given you for the service of the house of your Elohim, those deliver you before the Elohim of Israel. And whatsoever more shall be needed for the house of your Elohim, which you shall have occasion to bestow, bestow it out of the king's treasure house. And I, even I, Artaxerxes the king, do make a decree to all the treasures which are beyond the river, that whatsoever Ezra the priest, the scribe of the law of the Elohim of heaven, shall require of you, it be done speedily.
It is amazing what happens when Yahweh turns something, when the children of Israel does what it is they're supposed to do. Now all of that attention that went for negativity is now going for positive measures. Y'all need something? Go get it out of go get it out of my bank over there. You need what? You need this? Go give it to them. Go ahead. But so you have those that said, look, I don't want no Gentile money. I take that Gentile money, please. You just park it all right here. Go right ahead. That's our stuff. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Unto 100 talents of silver, and unto 100 measure of wheat, and unto 100 baths of wine, and to 100 baths of oil, and salt without prescribing how much.
Right. The earth and the fullness therein belongs to Yahweh. All this is my God stuff. Unless they got it from Mars or some other place, some other planet. They done got it from some other galaxy and it flew in here. If it came off this earth, it belongs to my Elohim. If it landed on this earth, it belonged to my Elohim. Go ahead.
Whatsoever is commanded by the El of heaven, let it be diligently done for the house of the Elohim of heaven. For why should there be wrath against the realm of the king and his sons? Also we certify you that touching any of the priests and Levites, singers, porters, Nethinims, or ministers of this house of Elohim, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them.
Right. When you have this situation, today they have no taxation on a church body. But check this out. Verse 24. Also we certify you that touching any of the priests, the Levites, the singers, the porters, the Nethinims, or ministers of the of this house of Elohim, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them. So what are they doing today? As we start having these situations where they want to force certain things, it was always set apart as your religious right to refuse those things. But this place is going against those religious exemptions. You got religious exemptions right here in this book from long ago. So then we have to put in other measures to fight back at some of the things that are being presented at us. Go ahead.
And you, Ezra, after the wisdom of your Elohim that is in your hand, set magistrates and judges, which may judge all the people that are beyond the river, all such as know the laws of your El, and teach you them that know them not. And whosoever will not do the law of your Elohim and the law of the king, that judgment be executed speedily upon him, whether it be unto death, or to banishment, or to confiscation of goods, or to imprisonment.
Right. Now this authority is being handed to them. If they don't follow the law, the order that has been set, do whatever you got to do to them. Go ahead.
Blessed be Yahweh El of our fathers, which has put such a thing as this in the king's heart, to beautify the house of Yahweh which is in Jerusalem, and has extended mercy unto me before the king and his counselors, and before all the king's mighty princes. And I was strengthened as the hand of Yahweh my Elohim was upon me, and I gathered together out of Israel chief men to go up with me.
All right. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 18.
Jeremiah chapter 18 and verse 1. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause you to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheels. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it. Then the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter?
Do you give Yahweh the power to be able to do that with you? Or do we fight him as he's trying to make us into another vessel? Are we fighting to maintain ourselves into the old vessel that we always have been? So as he tries to reshape us, we try to push ourselves back into the old way. Go ahead.
Saith Yahweh, Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you in mine hand, O house of Israel. At what instance I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to pluck up and to pull down and to destroy it. If that nation, against whom I have pronounced, turn from their evil, I will repent of the evil that I thought to do unto them.
Right. Yahweh is the same. If you acknowledge the situation and deal with it, you have an opportunity to reverse that situation. But when you go still on, head first with all your pride, oh, you cause yourself a multitude of issues. Go ahead.
And at what instance I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to build and to plant it. If it do evil in my sight, that it obey not my voice, then I will repent of the good, wherewith I said I would benefit them.
Right. Not only will he repent of the evil if you turn, if you decide to stop walking in the goodness of Yahweh, then all the promises for good, he gonna reverse those too. Go ahead.
Now therefore go to, speak to the men of Yehuda, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, Thus says Yahweh, Behold, I frame evil against you, and devise a device against you. Return you now every one from his evil way, and make your ways and your doings good. And they said, There is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices, and we will everyone do the imagination of his evil heart.
Right, right. Because their heart has gotten to the point where it is connected with other individuals. See, the heart is more connected to other people than it is to Yahweh's word. It says, even if your son, your father, the wife of your bosom try to convince you to go against Yahweh, you handle that situation. But when you wear your heart on your sleeve, anybody can direct you anyway away from Yahweh. Go ahead.
Therefore, thus says Yahweh, ask you now among the heathen, who has heard such things? The virgin of Israel has done a very horrible thing. Will a man leave the snow of Lebanon which comes from the rock of the field? Or shall the cold flowing waters that comes from another place be forsaken? Because my people has forgotten me, they have burnt incense to vanity, and they have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient paths, to walk in paths, in a way not cast up, to make their land desolate, and a perpetual hissing. Every one that passes thereby shall be astonished, and wag his head. I will scatter them as with an east wind before the enemy. I will show them the back and not the face in the day of their calamity.
Right. When the situation is then presented, we can pray to Yahweh all we want. He's not going to hear us. So you had an opportunity when things were being brought to listen and hearken unto the information that was presented. Once you then start the process, the whole process of judgment has to be complete. You have an opportunity to avoid judgment. And if you avoid it, boom, it's over. Done deal. Once you push past that point, it's a done deal. Judgment now has to finish. When they offer you, they said, look, if you take this plea, you get this much time. And you said, no, I'm going to take my chances in court. All right, you take your chances in court. Hey, do it. Stand on it. But the time that they facing you with is 20 years. Once you lose, you're going to go back to the plea. You know what? Never mind. You know what? I'll go ahead and take the 2. No, you lost. You taking the 20. No, judgment now has to finish. That's why it says, agree with your adversary quickly while you are in the way. So you let that thing draw out. Now, judgment has to take its full course. When you could have avoided the whole thing. Just like that. Boy, that pride is it's something. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Then said they, come and let us devise devices against Jeremiah, for the law shall not perish from the priest.
They know this priest ain't gonna stop making sure that the word go out there, so we got to find something on him. Go ahead.
Nor counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophet. Come and let us smite him with the tongue.
Let us smite him with the tongue. Let's just say all kind of ugly things that we can say. Let's see if it's going to cause him to stumble. And hey, when the people start saying all that stuff at Moshe, didn't it make him say some things that he didn't necessarily want to say? It did get to Moshe. So much so that the word says he spake unadvisedly with his lips because of the provocation of Israel. So Israel know enough to know, hey, this might work. Go ahead.
Let us not give heed to any of his words. Give heed to me, O Yahweh, and hearken to the voice of them that contend with me. Shall evil be recompensed for good? For they have digged a pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before you to speak good for them, and to turn away your wrath from them.
Check that out. Remember that I stood before you to speak good for them. People don't remember any of that when they get mad. They don't even recall that you have gone to the altar in their name to pray for their situations. They don't remember any of that. Go ahead.
Therefore deliver up their children to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword. And let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle.
Now this is a prophet of Israel talking about Israel. I don't think people understand what's going on here. Go ahead, brother.
Let a cry be heard from their houses when you shall bring a troop suddenly upon them, for they have digged a pit to take me, and hid snares for my feet. Yet, Yahweh, you knoweth all their counsel against me to slay me. Forgive not their lawlessness, neither blot out their sin from your sight. But let them be overthrown before you. Deal thus with them in the time of your anger.
Deal thus with them in the time of your anger. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 22. This is why the word says, seek you, Yahweh, while he may be found. It's too late to renegotiate after you have rolled it out with pride and indignation.
Second Samuel chapter 22 and verse 1. And David spake unto Yahweh the words of this song in the day that Yahweh had delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies and out of the hand of Saul.
And David spake unto Yahweh the words of this song when Yahweh had delivered him out of the hand of his enemies. He is singing praise unto Yahweh once he has been delivered. And let me tell you something. This was a long-going situation that David had to endure. And even though Saul was coming at him crooked, it wasn't but so much dirt he was going to deal with because he was anointed man of Yahweh. Jake don't remember any of that when they get mad. Jake just will slang dirt, lies, propaganda, any of that. David did not. David got so much as to be able to cut a piece of cloth off Saul's body. Go to the other end while he sleep. Go to the other edge of the water. He don't even know a piece of his garment missing. So, you know, if I wanted to kill you, you'd be dead. Then the man got to look down. You have been more righteous than I. He knew from that point it's a done deal. Out of all the evil and wicked that I've done to this man was standing right by me, cut off a piece of my garment just to show me he was there. Because those who follow Yahweh don't forget that they follow Yahweh just because they got angry. Read, man.
And he said, Yahweh is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, the El of my rock. In him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower, my refuge, my Savior. You saveth me from violence. I will call on Yahweh, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress I called upon Yahweh.
In my distress I call upon Yahweh. See, so if we are in distress in situations, then how do we approach unto that? Go ahead.
And cried to my Elohim, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook, because he was angry. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub, and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. Yahweh thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. And he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning and discomfited them. And the channels of the sea appeared. The foundations of the world were discovered. At the rebuking of Yahweh, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy, and from them that hated me, for they were too strong for me.
Right. Yahweh calls you to win a situation that you actually don't have the physical strength to win. Go ahead.
They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but Yahweh was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me, because he delighted in me. Yahweh rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanliness of my hands, as he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of Yahweh, and have not wickedly departed from my El. For all his judgments were before me, and as for his statutes, I did not depart from them. I was I was also upright before him, and have kept myself from mine lawlessness. Therefore Yahweh has recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to my cleanliness in his eyesight. With the merciful you will show yourself merciful.
Right. Go ahead.
And with the upright man you shall show yourself upright.
And this is what get people in trouble. Go ahead.
And with the pure you will show yourself pure. And with the froward you will show yourself unsavory.
Right. So then when they do the things believing that they're in sport, Yahweh is presenting that thing to them so they can go ahead and finish it, believing that they are in the right place. See, with the merciful, he will show yourself merciful. With the upright, you will show yourself upright. With the pure, you will show yourself pure. And with the forward, you will show yourself unsavory. Those that use Yahweh have no idea that they are being used at the same time that they're using him. I had somebody show up trying to use the word to get somebody to agree for them to be able to divorce their husband. You was in the process of trying to use the word. What they ended up doing was leading their daughter to a situation where she could find a husband. Once Yahweh was done with that, done deal. But what was happening? While they were attempting to use Yahweh, Yahweh was using them the whole time. Once he was done with that situation, he no longer needs that person in that situation. You can go now. You've done your job. But how did you get so tricked? Because they were working on doing their own thing. While they was using Yahweh the whole time, Yahweh was using them. It never does occur to people that Yahweh, see, you can stay up all night. You're not going to trick my Elohim. And don't think that his long suffering is him not knowing. That situation just hasn't presented itself because he need to use it to work both ways. If Yahshua had got rid of Judas, then he got to pick somebody else to betray Yahshua. Can't get rid of him. Who gonna betray Yahshua? He's got to finish the betrayal. Because if he doesn't, then now I get to see which one of them I'm gonna condemn to death by betraying him. Now you gotta get somebody else. No. Let the person who was built for betrayal do the betrayal and they receive the death accordingly. You take them out of that stead, then somebody else got to come stand there. But see, you show up with a forward heart. He shows himself unsavory, so they believe the whole time that they're doing it, that they're in the right place, that they're doing the right thing. They believe that Yahweh agrees with them. Until the situation is done. Go ahead.
Verse 28. And the afflicted people you will save, but your eyes are upon the haughty, that you may bring them down. For you are my lamp, O Yahweh, and Yahweh will lighten my darkness. For by you I have run through a troop. By my Elohim have I leaped over a wall. As for Elohim, his way is perfect. The word of Yahweh is tried. He's a buckler to all them that trust in him. For who is El, save Yahweh? And who is a rock, save our Elohim? Elohim is my strength and power, and he makes my way perfect. He makes my feet like hinds' feet, and sets me upon my high places. He teaches my hands to war.
He makes my feet like hinds' feet. Hinds' feet, they can walk on the side of a mountain and it look like they should fall off and die. How they walking right there? You ever seen one of them rams walk up a mountain? Hey man, it ain't no rhyme or reason like, hey man, that thing should be like that thing should be like dead right now. I mean, this thing is way up, and there's nothing to really grab on, and it's still going up. And watching this, you like, okay, at some point he gonna realize and that this is probably not a good journey and turn around. No, he going all the way to the top. Either he trying to get the salt off that wall or whatever that is he trying to get. He going all the way up there and he getting it all along the way. And he is not falling off that wall. So when he says he teaches my feet like hinds feet, what he's doing is allowing situation and circumstance to happen unto you. And you are going to grow from those situations. Don't mean you're going to always be honorable in those situations. All right. Some of them situations you're going to fall and you might not have done right. You still going to learn. Go ahead.
He teaches my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms.
Right. He teach you your hands to war by also letting cunning craftiness be around you and let them war against you and you pick up their ways of war. Go ahead.
You have also given me the shield of your salvation, and your gentleness has made me great. You have enlarged my steps under me, so that my feet did not slip. I have pursued mine enemies and destroyed them, and turned not again until I have consumed them. And I have consumed them and wounded them, that they could not arise. Yes, they are fallen under my feet. For you have girded me with strength to battle. Them that rose up against me have you subdued under me. You have also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They looked, but there was none to save, even unto Yahweh, but he answered them not.
Right. Check that out. The enemies of Dawid come against him, then pray to Yahweh to save them. Because they think they in the right place. They come against Yahweh's servant and then ask Yahweh to help them come against his servant. And confused why they not getting the answer. Go ahead.
Then did I beat them as small as the dust of the earth. I did stamp them as the mire of the street, and did spread them abroad. You also has delivered me from the strivings of my people.
See, Israel got to pay attention. You have also delivered me from the strivings of my people. See, we always imagine the strivings of other people, of other nations, and we discount the situation that's going to happen amongst us. Go ahead.
You have kept me to be head of the heathen, a people which I knew not shall serve me. Strangers shall submit themselves unto me. As soon as they hear, they shall be obedient unto me. Strangers shall fade away, and they shall be afraid out of their closed places. Yahweh lives, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be the Elohim of the rock of my salvation. It is Elohim that avenged me, and that brings down the people under me.
It is Elohim that avenges me, okay? And that brings down the people under me. I don't have to try to avenge myself. See, I'm going to take care of Yahweh business, and then Yahweh going to take care of mine. I ain't got to try to stay up all night scouring this place and that place, trying to find out what my enemy going to do. If they going to do this, then I'm going to do that. No, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to take care of Yahweh's business. And then Yahweh is going to avenge me. Everything they attempt going to fall right in their lap. Because see, when you try to do that, you going to go off everything you think you hear, and some of that ain't nothing but smoke. They ain't got no bullets in that gun. But they'll wave it. They'll wave it. They ain't got nothing in it. And you spend all your time reacting to that, guess what you ain't doing? Yahweh's word. Because you're too busy tending to what everybody's saying. Take care of your business. Yahweh take care of yours. You will hear from a bird. Hey, man, you heard about such and such? No, I didn't know. What happened to him? And it won't be none of your doing. You won't have nothing to do with it. That's how you keep your hands clean. Go ahead.
And that bringeth me forth from mine enemies. You also lifted me up on high above them that rose up against me. You have delivered me from the violent man. Therefore, I will give thanks unto you, O Yahweh, among the heathen, and I'll sing praises unto your name. He is the tower of salvation for his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, unto Dawid, and to his seed forevermore.
All right. Let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Wisdom of Shlomo, chapter 1 in the Apocrypha. Wisdom, chapter 1. And we're going to start that at verse 1.
Love righteousness, you that be judges of the earth. Think of the Adonai with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him.
And in simplicity of heart seek him. Why should it be so confusing? Why should it be so intricate for you to seek Yahweh your Elohim? I can do this, but I ain't going to do that. I'll do this for this individual, but I ain't going to do it for that individual. I shalom Kish, but I ain't going to shalom Eliel. Where's the simplicity of righteousness? The more difficult it is, the more you're entertaining in your heart. Why is it that difficult? Why is it difficult to shalom one brother and not shalom another brother? Why is that even entertained? See, there's something there that makes that difficult. Why? If we abide by what the word says, do good unto all men. Why are we trying to figure out which men we're going to do good to? Then it ain't simple no more. Why has it become difficult? Because you are entertaining something in your heart. Go ahead.
You know, the only difference is some people don't understand when the moment of rebuke comes along. You got to sever them ties of how you deal with the brother who sinned against you.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. For he will be found of them that tempt him not.
He will be found of them that tempt him not. Go ahead.
And showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. For forward thoughts separate from Elohim.
Right. See? That's why it's become difficult. This is where the simplicity has changed, because those forward thoughts are pushing you further and further from your Elohim. But you think everybody else is getting away from you. No, you're the one that's getting away from them. Go ahead, bro.
Just to say, forward, when you look it up, it means what you think and what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, what you
Think, feel, and believe. That was my elder's whole thing right there. That is what people's whole salvation is based off. What they think, feel, and believe. It no longer becomes the dictates of Yahweh's word, but it then becomes the dictates of what they think, feel, and believe. What their own flesh is directing them to do. Go ahead.
And his power, when it is tried, reproves the unwise. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin.
Right. So if we keep that thing going with the 1 foot in the church and the 1 foot in the world, what happens is, and we think we're growing, because, of course, we're spending an enormous amount of time with the heathen doing our own other things. We believe that we're growing. But what happened is, wisdom won't set up an abode there. It can't grow. It can't prosper because we keep hindering it by the other things. Go ahead.
For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit, and remove from the thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness comes in. For wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For Elohim is witness of his reigns, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue.
Right. And we don't think that those things that we say mean anything. See? There's something wrong if we can say shalom, but then turn around and just still have all manner of evil to say against our brothers and sisters. And we're talking about people baptized in the word. That you would just speak evil about them, not speaking to make them change something that they are doing, just speaking evil. Just for the sport of it. And still show up. Shalom. Go ahead, bro.
For the spirit of the Adonai fills the world, and that which containeth all things has knowledge of his voice. Therefore he that speaks unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punishes, pass by him. For inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly, and the sound of his words shall come unto the Adonai for the manifestation of his wicked deeds.
Right. See, Yahweh paused long enough, but eventually all of those things come to the place of being dealt with. And this is why when things end up going forth, people think it's all about this thing. But what Yahweh has done is allowed those things to mount up, and he's dealing with A through Z. And everybody's stuck on one thing, and Yahweh like, look at this. Only when certain things happen, all of a sudden you start finding out there was all manner of other evil that was happening. Then you understand, oh no, Yahweh was dealing with multiple situations here. And you shall be held accountable if you mislead other people. Go ahead.
For the ear of jealousy hears all things, and the noise of murmurings is not hid. Therefore beware of murmurings, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting.
And just because, saying you put it in a text, you can't say, well, I didn't refrain my tongue from backbiting. But these fingers, oh my goodness, they backbiters. I didn't say it. I put it in a chat. It's different. I didn't read nothing in the law about a chat. Okay. All right. Let's see what my Elohim got to say. Let's see. Go ahead.
For there is no word so secret that shall go forth not, and the mouth that belieth slayeth the souls. Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands.
Right. So then when we set up situations for things like that to happen, we are inviting other people to death. And what Yahweh does, he goes from the top to the bottom. See, accountability starts, what does he say? Start with the aged man. Let's find out who is the oldest in this situation who was supposed to be the person to orchestrate that. I'm starting here. That's where the judgment is going to lie. All the rest of them may get a pat. All right, don't do that no more. All right, don't do that no more. All right, don't do that no more. But you who should have known better, come here. Go ahead.
For Elohim made not death, neither has he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things that they might have their being. And the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal, but ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it because they are worthy to take part with it.
Right. And children of Israel do not make a covenant with death. Do not make a covenant with the ungodly and with the unrighteous. And for us to examine situations, we have to examine the spirit and the deeds of those things. Separate from how we feel, think, and believe with our own heart. Examine it according to the word and what thus says Yahweh your Elohim. Judge the spirit by the spirit. And in that we shall be able to see the light of the path that Yahweh directs for us. Because we have a serious time of darkness that is going to come upon our people. And part of it has already started. You have, how many of y'all was watching? I ended up putting it on the brothers' text chat, which we text. We don't be on there talking about people. We texting. Okay. We went in. I said, okay, I'm watching the news. Hank Aaron just died. But 2.5 weeks ago, Hank Aaron took that shot. He was healthy 2.5 weeks ago. He was taking the shot to convince other African Americans that you should take the shot. Damn it, he didn't even live long enough to take the second one. Now, they put all of this stuff on the news. Nobody will connect the shot to his death. They want to talk about it like it's separate. He was a good guy. He hit a lot of home runs. And by the way, he took the shot. Okay, more news at 11. Hell no, back up. Back up. He was healthy 2.5 weeks ago. He took the shot. Now he gone. But ain't nobody talking about that. But we still around here acting like it's business as usual. Did y'all listen to what was said by one of the little Biden people or one of the folks of the new administration? We're going to hold people accountable for the spread of this virus. I don't think I'm paying attention to certain words. When I heard accountable, see, my Elohim speaks of accountability, so I know what the hell I'm hearing when I hear the word accountable. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it should be jumping out to y'all when you flip through the channels and they start saying stuff like accountability. We're gonna hold you accountable. What the hell you mean? You're gonna hold us accountable? Oh no. Y'all keep playing these games and think things is finna be business as usual, and these people are mounting up. And now, you got enough party that has control of a situation to push an agenda. And we help fight to make it happen. Let me tell you something. My elder used to tell me about demons. What you want is an even number of demons, son. I said, what are you talking about? So you never want one demon. See, if you got one demon in your congregation, you got a problem. You need demons in twos, son. So when I know I ain't got but one demon, I'm trying to find some more. Look, I need you to go play with this knuckle over here. See, that way the demons keep each other busy. You got one, you got your problem. Because they wreaking havoc everywhere, and there's nothing that hinders them. Because you're off trying to do your work, and the demon is jumping, doing all their things. When they get an adversary, another demon, that goes contrary to them, and they start battling each other, you get to keep them busy with one another. That system of them fighting each other in their government system was a better situation for us than to have either one of them have a complete full power. Oh, we might be in the worst trouble that we ever had even thought of. And we were the ones that went by to make it happen. Check that out. Pay attention, Israel. That's all that we're going to do for today. We're going to do Bible trivia, y'all's will, at 5:30. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.